Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Remember this guy? We're returning to the topic of the Abyssmal Remnant in today's episode, and you'll find out why in a moment. Something that I forgot to mention about him when we did this episode last week. So, lots of goodies and tips and insider information in this episode. Keep watching to learn more. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Conan Exiles and beginner gameplay with Gazbeard in the house that Gaz built. Now, bit of a special episode today. Somebody reached out to me via a private message and they asked me, what are the advantages of killing the Abyssmal Remnant other than the experience and the journey step? Is there anything to it beyond that? Well, yes, there is, and thank you very much for the question, because it's something that I completely ignored in the episode last week when we took down the Abyssmal Remnant, and I should have covered it in that same episode. Let's go and have a look at what it all is. To do that, we'll just come in and right, so the bits that we harvested from the Abyssmal Remnant, we've got them all in here. So let's just grab a few of them and we'll just split that down a bit. There we go. Right, so first things first. The flesh of the Abyssmal Remnant, you can cook it on the campfire, and I forgot to move that shredded roast up into the thrall pot. So, Abyssmal flesh, cook. And what you get is you get a piece of cooked Abyssmal meat and some ichor. Now, the cooked Abyssmal flesh is a high-grade consumable, gives you presumably a lot of healing, and the ichor, as we know, is used for a bunch of stuff. So, first things first, we'll put that ichor away in the cupboard, with the rest of the ichor that we've been building up from cooking fish. Right, so that's one immediate thing. Also, you can use raw, uncooked Abyssmal flesh as a high-grade food in your animal pens, which we've not covered yet, which give you a chance of getting a high-grade pet. So, let's say you've put a bear cub into the animal pen to raise it as a pet. Using standard foods like honey and what have you, you'll get a standard bear. And bears are, you know, nice pets. But if you use something like Abyssmal flesh or shade-spiced honey, you stand a chance of getting a greater bear, which are bigger, got more hit points, attack with more damage, etc. So that's one use of uncooked Abyssmal flesh. Now, the Abyssmal fangs, we mentioned these a while ago, that you use 5 Abyssmal fangs to make 10 Abyssmal arrows. Now we've got some feathers in there, we've got some sticks in there. Let's just craft one set. Just confirm that it is 10, 5 fangs for 10. Yes, it is, it's 5 fangs for 10. So there we go, that's 10 of those made. We'll put them up on the same row. Okay, what's next? The Abyssmal Eye. The Abyssmal Eye is used over at the blacksmiths, and you use it to make the Abyssmal Sword, which is... where's it gone? There it is, the Abyssmal Sword. We need 10 thick leather, 20 iron bars, and 5 branches. So, got to get 10 thick leather from the armor maker before we can do anything further with that. And this proximity to each other is one of the reasons why you keep all your worker thralls in one room. Right, there's 10 thick leather. Just put all them back into the same slot. That'll let us make the Abyssmal Sword. And the Abyssmal Eye also lets us make Abyssmal Daggers, which do a bit more damage than the regular daggers. So let's just, as soon as this sword's made, we'll compare it to the sword that I'm using. There we are. So we put that across there. Right, the Abyssmal Sword does a health damage of 20 with an armor penetration of 8. It's a mid-grade flawless weapon, causes cripple damage. It's got a durability of 585. The two-handed iron sword that I'm using has got a durability of 465. It needs a repair to get it back to its full. Let's just quickly do that. There we are. So 502.5 is the durability of the two-handed iron sword. 585. So the Abyssmal Sword is much more durable. It does 20 damage. This does 29. This may be a one-handed sword. I honestly can't remember. Number 4. Yeah, it is. It's a one-handed sword. So as a one-handed sword, that's a pretty respectable damage rate. So, oops, put it away. In that case, what we'll do is we'll move the fibre bedroll up beside the campfire, and we'll keep that with us as our one-handed sword for when we're dragging a thrall around. Right, so that's those. The other thing that you learned from the Abyssmal Remnant is armor, and here it is. The reptilian boots, chest piece, gauntlets, helmet, and tasset. They're medium armors, so let's make a set of medium components. Medium boot linings. Got to check how many we need. We need 2 boot linings. We need 2 gauntlet linings. Okay. Medium boot linings, uses regular leather and twine, so we'll make 2 of those. That's light. That's medium chest padding, craft 1 of those. That's medium gauntlet lining, make 2 of those. Medium helmet padding, make 1 of those. Medium legging lining. We need some more twine, so that's no problem. What we do is we just find the relevant twine recipe on here. We've got some plant fibre there to make it with. There it is. Just craft 10 of those, and then as soon as that's made, we can make this. So just need to wait for these things to craft up. With a high level armor maker on here, these would craft a lot faster and use less materials. So while we're waiting for that, I'm just going to have a slurp of early morning coffee and try to wake my brain up. There we are, we can tell it to make the the legging lining. And we've got 80 reptile skins in stock, so we should be able to make this full set of armor from that. There we go. Right, so go down to here, make one of those, make one of those. Oh, we need 10 Abyssmal Fangs to make that, so hold on, we've still got those over here. Put them into there. And put them into there. Craft one of those. Craft a set of gauntlets. Oh dear, we're going to need another 10 fangs to make the helmet. And we're only going to have 5 left. Similarly, we need another 10 to make the pants. Oh dear. Right, so that means we've got to go and kill the Abyssmal Remnant again in order to get those. That's one of the problems with it. Now, you can kill the Abyssmal Remnant multi-times. You do have to fight your way through the dregs, beating off the skeletons and what have you, and also the salamanders if they showed up. They didn't show up for us. They're in the first part of the dregs, the large pool with the deep plunge pits where you dive down to the chests. They're fairly easy. I mean, they're easier than crocodiles, to be honest. So just fight your way back through. Don't forget, you've got to take somebody to sacrifice on the top of the hatch before it'll open. And you just go down, you kill the dregs the same way that you did before, and then you can harvest him, get a whole bunch more abysmal meat, fangs, eyes, etc., and come back and finish making your armor and make your abysmal daggers as well. We could, with only 5 fangs left, we could make a set of abysmal daggers. But we can't finish the armor, so let's just move all of that. Now, why is that not opening up an extra row here for me? That's a little bit on the odd side. Try doing it this way. There we go, that's it. So those are made. We need those to make more. But we need more abysmal fangs. We don't have enough abysmal fangs. Right, let's put them in the cupboard out the way then. So if we put them down here, so headpiece, chest piece, gauntlets, leggings, and boots. We know we need 20 abysmal fangs to finish them off. We've got 5 fangs left. Can we actually make the abysmal daggers with those? Oh no, it needs an eye, not fangs. Okay, so we'd have to take down the Abyssmal Remnant to get another abysmal eye in order to make the abysmal daggers. The flesh, I've been keeping it in here thinking the alchemist used it, but in actual fact what we should really be doing is getting it all cooked and putting it up in the thrall pot. Let the thralls take advantage of it. So let me just go throw that on the large campfire and get that cooked. while that's all cooking away, I'm just going to put these other bits up in the thrall pot. Try and keep it topped up as much as possible, just in case I hit a point where I can't get on for several days. And the thrall pot's pretty much full. It's going to be a problem here. Well, if we move those rubbish fish down there, move them there, put that there, that can go there. Leaves us just enough slots to put in that other abysmal flesh once it's cooked. Got those arrows to put downstairs, put them in the weapon cupboard. There's the bows. Put those arrows in there. Put that piece of meat outside in the compost heap. Just do the daily admin routines. Get them out of the way. There we are. And what are we going to do for the rest of the week? Well, I've got something special lined up, but we're not going to be starting it today. Let me just give you a quick preview of it. What we're going to do is, you can see we've explored this area quite well, and we know that we've covered the south of the river, certainly down to about this point, and there's only really these 2 points of interest, the Sentinels and Hanneman's Grotto. What we're going to do is we're going to focus a little bit on this area here, just on the north side of the river. And the reason we're not going too far up into the map is that if a sandstorm hits, we can run back to the river, and in the river area we'll be classed as sheltered. So we want to get a few discovery points to get the XP to bump us up to the next level, when we can make the sandstorm mask at level 30, and at level 30 we can afford to go way up deep into the desert, and we'll be able to survive sandstorms. We've also got this area to explore, which again, the sandstorm mask really is advisory. We should not really have gone to Sepamaru without one, because if we'd got caught on this desert trail round here, we would have died. No shelter there apart from what we built. So before we can do this area up here, we need the sandstorm mask. We also absolutely need it to cover this area, the Shattered Springs, because there's poisonous gases there, and the sandstorm mask gives you protection against those. But this area down here, our only risk is the sandstorm itself, and if it starts to appear, we can make a sprint for the river, get into the river valley, into the water or on the shore of the river, and the sandstorm is not fatal. Damaging but not fatal. So that's why we will be focusing on this area next, just to get us up to level 30, get the sandstorm mask made, and then we can begin these longer ventures further out into different areas. And this, once we get beyond this, then really we're not into beginner territory, we're into intermediate territory, and that'll be a different series. So there's enough here to keep us going till Christmas, and then the Christmas special next week, and then in the new year start a new series looking at the more intermediate stuff. But that will probably not be a daily video. That will probably be 2 or 3 videos a week rather than 1 video every day. So that's pretty much it for today, folks. Short episode, just focusing on the benefits of the Abyssmal remains and the recipes that you get from him, and that's the armor set, the sword and the daggers, and the meat itself, which can be used either raw for your animals when you start training pets, or cooked for your thralls. You can eat it yourself, of course, as well. Anyway, that's it for today. I'll see you tomorrow. All the usual end of video mutterings. Give it a like if you've liked it. Subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying the series. If you're going to leave a dislike, please say why. Don't just drop it and run. And I'll see you tomorrow. From me, as always, the Gazbeard. It's not goodbye, it's just bye for now. Have a great day.